there.
Hello.
Yeah, hello. So I'm Natalie and
I'm Anna Уварова, and this is
don't
ESL
trust.
Chitchat.
Yes, our English chit-chat. Yes, Anya, I keep wondering why you call yourself Anna Уварова while the notice, the sign says Anna Orlova.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know.
It's a mystery. Yeah, it's a mystery.
That's
Let
just,
it be the mystery of our chit-chat.
Yeah, I'll change it now.
Yes, yeah. Wow. I don't know which one I like more. So I like, as usual, I like your wonderful green background.
Thank you.
What are we going to speak today about?
I think you told me that you have a question that you wanted to discuss.
Yes, I do have a question. Just at the point, dear viewers, listeners, so whoever you are, this is not prescripted anything. We do not script our talks in advance. This is always spontaneous. I kind of encountered it's not a problem, but I would like to know your ideas on this field. So I have an activity which I like a lot. Now, this is how to put some vocabulary in practice and to make my learners use the learned bits of vocabulary. This is, of course, controlled practice, but this is a necessary stage to proceed to freer practice. So there is a text, and I ask my learners to retell the content of this text, of a particular piece of text, to their partner. And they do this in turns, like speaker A retells the content of text A, speaker B retells the content of text B. Then they swap partners, and they do absolutely the same task with another partner. So like the same task, and then we discuss the benefit, we discuss vocabulary, how their first performance differed from the second one. This is a pretty common activity. I guess you use it a lot in your classes. Yeah, so sometimes I do the same. I even ask my learners to retell the same text to each other sometimes. And this is also interesting to see how differently they retell it. But now I kind of encountered a problem of how to organize it when I've got only two learners on hands. There is no changing of partners, or when this is one-to-one class and there is only me and my learner. I need your help. What do you do in this situation? Because the activity is great. The activity is beneficial. We all know the perks of it.
I think something is happening
in your brain. Yes, like I can hear the sound of your
something today.
Oh, then what?
Can you repeat your question? I do think something is happening with ear pressure, really, Natalie. I'm sorry.
This is actually what sometimes very often happens in our lessons, when you have an impression of your learners being fully present and responsive to you, but it's not this.
Oh my God.
Okay, so Anya, did you get to the activity which I was describing?
No, could you one more time about the activity?
I'm doing this. I'm correcting my mistake because I just blurted the question out to you. Now I'm dividing it into segments. So did you get the activity which I was describing?
No, could you please repeat one more time the activity?
Okay, I love it. Can I appeal to your visual senses?
Yes, I'm here. Okay. I'm listening to you. I can clap my hands.
Yes. I'm going to share my screen.
Yes.
So look,
it will be easier. Yeah.
I've got, this is an excerpt from a C1 level course book. So right. I've got 4 texts. After I've discussed this text with my learners, I want them to practice some vocabulary bits here. I want to check their takeaways from this text to see which vocabulary they have on hands, something which they can already use in their speech. This is why I ask, for example, let them be me and you. So I retell to you the content of text A about the barrister, and you tell me the content of text C about the banker.
Okay.
So, of course, when I retell, I do not look at the text. I just talk to you, tell you what the text. So the task is to retell the text as closely to the original as possible. Then you do the same. Yeah. So do you know this activity?
Yeah, and so your question is like whether
Wait.
like,
This is the first part. The first part.
Right.
So I mean, like this activity, normally after the first stage of narration, you retell something to me, I retell to you. We kind of make some error correction if this is necessary. We kind of try to recollect some details which were omitted, if again it is necessary. And after that, to kind of ensure better retention, we swap partners. And imagine there were more of us, not two, but like people, then I would retell again the same beat, text A, to my friend Angela. I don't know who it is.
Oh, okay, yeah, it doesn't matter. Yeah, I get
text to your friend Valera. You like the name? Yes. So you would retell the same bit of text to another person. Yes. And the second narration would give you more confidence normally. Yes. You would you would be able to use more vocabulary or correct some of your mistakes in case they were made. Yeah, they had been made.
Right.
So in terms of group, when you have a group, this activity works perfectly and it can be repeated numerously. 2, 3, 4 times. It depends on your length of your class.
Right.
So this is good. Yeah, I mean, I do know all the perks of this activity. But what to do if there are only 2 of us, you and me?
You mean like an individual lesson or like a pair?
Individual lesson, or there is a teacher and 2 learners.
But it's the only thing you can do. You just don't do this activity this way and you find another way to get the same result.
Yes, give me this another way.
That was the question.
I hope my laughter is not that loud. Won't be that loud in the recording.
I would just, for example, change the text, right? So I don't know, I haven't seen the text, but in some cases it's possible.
But the point that then it kills the very essence of this activity. Because
it's different. It's different. No, wait, you cannot repeat the same activity the same way because you are, for example, you are doing an individual class, right? So, and this activity, it doesn't work with an individual class the same way. It cannot work, unfortunately, right? The only way it can work, by the way, what I do, by the way.
Because I think it can work.
With exam student, for example, right? Just I thought about yoga student, right? When we practice, for example, the speaking part. So we record, right? What the girl is saying, for example. After that, I have my own notes, right? As a teacher, what I would, for example, change if the girl had to repeat it one more time, right? And then, for example, the student listens to the recording, taking into account the criteria, right? I don't know, assesses it, right? Taking into account the criteria, and then listens one more time and thinks about some correction in terms of the language and so on, right?
And then retells it one more time.
Then, yes, taking all into account all these corrections, right? She needs to do it one more time, and she listens to her recording one more time. And to be honest, we can do it 2, 3, 4 times. It depends on at the beginning, we do it kind of like more, right? Then we do it less. And it depends on the focus, right? What we want to focus on, what correction we focus on, right? Because of course we never focus on everything at the same time.
Yeah, of course.
So
this thing works with recordings, yes.
With recordings, yeah. And actually why it's good, because you know that with your exam students as well, right? Whenever it comes to this computer think, when you think, when you talk to a person, you can talk, no problem.
It's perceived.
When you know that you are being recorded, you get really shy quite often.
Yeah.
Nervous.
It's true.
Yeah, so that's why maybe it will be also helpful, I mean, like for the person, right, not to be so afraid of
To get used to being recorded.
Yeah.
Mhm,
And
mhm.
again, you can focus, for example, right, your questions, if we take into account your activity, right, the questions could be like, I don't know how many key phrases I have used from the text, right?
Yes, because this is the way I kind of adjusted to like their work.
We had in a bit different way also. I just now started remembering when I did my I did my like degree in
Interpreting.
translation, right?
Mhm, mhm.
And it was like engineering, a very interesting way of, I mean, like the field, right? The field was about science and engineering. Huh?
Okay, yeah, keep speaking.
Yeah, no, what I mean is that because in this field, you need to remember a lot of weird phrases.
And
What we had, I remember that we would have a paper, right? On the one hand, that would be English version. On the other hand, it would be Russian. And I had to look at the Russian version, and I had to remember these phrases, the nice ones in English, right? But I mean, I had to retell the text, kind of
so Russian was a kind of like
support.
Support, yeah, ground.
Yeah, but I could, but the idea was that I would have to, I would have to do it I would have to learn it by heart before that, right? And to be honest, it was very helpful for me personally, because when I then started working as a translator, I had all these phrases in my head, really. I mean, everything connected to engineering and science, I was ready to use it immediately, yeah. It worked. And another one was that when we had the same, but you had, what I mean is that these are different ways of doing the same thing as you are saying. We had some beginnings of some sentences, 3, 4, maybe words. Yeah.
Beginnings are also nice. Yes, yeah, this is interesting.
And we would have to retell it based on these beginnings, but again, as close to the text as possible. So these are different ways of doing the same thing as you said. But I like
this is pretty close to what I do, how I try to adapt it to like individual classes or to only 2 students. So yeah, we need to memorize some things by heart. But still, I don't want it to be a solid piece of text, which is like learned as one big thing, and you can't separate it in meaningful chunks. I prefer take languages construction blocks, and you just build whatever you need.
So maybe then recording would do, and then it's also about self-assessment, right?
Yeah. Okay, thank you very much for your invaluable advice. This is interesting. This is interesting how. And I like this turmoil in the beginning when you seem to be fully grasping the content of my words, but no. Okay.
I'm sorry, Natalie. I'm sorry.
Come on. That is
something with the weather, really.
Okay. I can talk to you for ages, but it's time for my next class.
I know, that's why. Enjoy your next lesson. So anyway, guys, if you have watched our video up to this moment, so please write your comments, what ideas you have. So how Natalie and how I, by the way, right, can use this task, right, when we want our students just to retell the text, right?
Yeah. This is about just presenting something which was created before them. And if you have your ideas, we'll be super glad to read them. Yes. So love you to bits. Bye.
Bye.
Bye.